Age. Welcome to Chizuba Talks, the podcast that explores the transformative power of fundamental human qualities. In each episode, we delve into inspiring stories and insightful interviews. Today, we have the honor of welcoming an inspiring advocate and catalyst for change, Mrs. Omolola Adekeye. She's a woman of power, purpose, and passion. Her heart beats with the rhythm of compassion, empathy, and love as she strives to make the world a better place for those who need it most. Her nonprofit organization, IFOAH, which is Institute for Advancement of Humanity, is dedicated to helping women, especially single mothers and widows who are suffering from inner trauma. Welcome to the podcast, Omolola.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor. I am really grateful for this opportunity. Thank you.
I am grateful for meeting such wonderful people like you. Omolola, please tell us about your beginnings. I believe Professor Mosunmola Omibi is instrumental in starting this.
Yes. So Professor Mosunmola Omibi is my mom. And she passed away in 2016. And she was a widow for about 20 years before she passed. And before that, at a point in the beginning of my life, she was a single mom before she married my stepdad and had my other brothers and sisters. So yeah, I have lived some of the experiences I'm trying to support as a child, and she was also a professor of ethnomusicology, which means she studied music of different cultures. She was the first music professor, female music professor in Africa, and always encouraged people to find their passion, especially if they had arts-based focus. I know numerous people who picked up instruments, who trained their voices just because of having to have met her. So when she passed, one thing that struck me was the sheer number of people who had stories of how she helped them. And my background, yes, I did learn the piano at a point in my life, but I found that my arts and my creativity geared more towards theater arts. So I found my passion on the stage. So even when I was studying law, I found more time in the theater arts department than my law department. But so being creative, having an expression to especially those critical years of growing up, the teenage years, because I had the opportunity of being part of a youth group all through my in Nigeria we call it secondary school. Here it's middle school, high school in the US and all that. But yeah, so all through those formative years, I was in a drama group that was also geared towards television and some other, and just the stories we told, how they put what we were experiencing at home into something we could act out. I think it really grounded. Yes. And because it was really supposed to meant to be for TV, I think those were very critical to my growth and what grounded me as a teenager. When you're seeking and you're asking those questions, but the parents, not because they really mean to, but they do place certain expectations on the child of a growing,
universally true.
Yes, of a growing teenager, but you're still there trying to say, okay, I don't want to do, there's so many conflicting stories going on in one's head, just to find a creative outlet was really great for me. So I did study law, and I'd always had a passion to help people. My reason for going into that was, so my intent with law was really social justice. I wanted to come out right off the bat and start a nonprofit and just go with it. But again, a lot of folks were like, "Oh, you don't know enough. How are you going to make it work?" All that kind of good stuff. So I held back for a very long time. I did some work with the Girl Scouts, at least saw how an organization, this nonprofit, could work. I did a lot, but accumulating back to 2016 when my mom passed away. And I said, you know what, this is the time to do this. There's such a big gap, just noticing that the experiences of single mothers has not changed from the 70s when I was born to now. There's still a stigma in certain countries about being a single mother. And even now, I think even now it's so internalized, they become Amazons in a way, many times like I can do it all. And they forget their own internal emotions and, the essence of their being that makes them feminine, just because they're dealing with having children, with not a father figure present, or even being widows and still being expected to get hand-me-downs from maybe the husband's family or something when they are actually educated women, So just a lot of positions and me really understanding that, women have a special role and a special place in society. There's a reason where we have the feminine and we have the masculine, and in many ways, because the feminine is not an expressive, but very strong. And because we've had to take on so many roles, that essence is being lost. And what are we having? Children being raised, we're not having the grounded human beings we should be having to push humanity forward. So my goal with the nonprofit is really to create a space where women, single mothers, and widows can be heard in an internal way. You understand? Giving them the strength. I'm hoping to be able to have, psychologists, people who do energy work, all these kind of people saying, I'm going to give some time to women from this organization. Let them come and get, let them have the help they need so that they can further transform themselves. And then we can now look at the economic, we can now look at, all the other issues they have, the social issues from the, from an advocacy standpoint. What are those laws that need to be changed really in these societies? So this is really huge. I mean, it has different ramifications. It goes different ways, and then to top it up, we have children who have talents in many of these areas, because our how can I say, our shifts are changing, right? We don't put priority on the creative energy, which is really what grounds the human being. So you have children who have all these talents, but don't have a way of expressing it, or maybe their parents don't have enough to help them on. So the Institute serves that purpose also. So yeah, I know I've rambled a lot.
No, that's right. It all makes sense.
Yeah.
If I look at what you are saying, if I think about what you are saying, these are tasks that are multifaceted. These are tasks that take into consideration so many factors, right? It's not just one area that you're looking at. You're looking at various factors that are making up that one individual who is currently facing those challenges.
Correct.
And you are offering a way out or a method to deal with the situation in the most creative and most productive way.
Yeah.
That's right. So what are the programs that you include in terms of including all the creative aspects of
Okay. Thank you so much. So currently we've launched 2 programs. The first program is called Born to Be. And Born to Be is for women, the single mothers and widows. And our goal there is to have that platform where they are seen, the platform where, we can say that this is from us. So we're hoping to, organize. We've organized an online summit where we had different speakers. Some women who are experiencing being single mothers, maybe out of divorce, and or just how it is. Some women who have been widows all came to talk. Who are at least in their field of work, still trying to So the face is the same, whether it's just a collective experience. So we had that summit. We talked about different aspects of finance, of even inner growth. So my hope with that is to extend it to have a collective of, like I said, psychologists donating their time, have a space where if people want to be entrepreneurial, we can support them in that journey after they've done the inner work of really feeling that they exist and they're seen. So that's the whole concept of Born to Be. And then the other program we've launched is called Kindness for the Arts, which is the
Kindness for the Arts. Okay.
Yes, Kindness for the Arts, which is the platform where we used to support children in the arts within the US and in Africa, by giving out scholarships and also giving out, instruments for those who can't afford it. My goal with that is to collaborate with nonprofits in other countries and set up, little centers where the art is.
Right. Sorry to interrupt you, but I have a question. When you say you offer scholarships, do you look at the caliber of the student? Do you see whether they are promising students in the field of arts, and hence you give the scholarships?
Yes. So working with studios, choir, already formed organizations. And asking them, who has the talent, who needs
that little push.
Yes, who needs that help to support their their love for what they're doing, and then we are able to at least chip in something to make that possible. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Let's take a break to understand what Chizuba is. Everyone at some point ponders on how this beautiful life can be made more meaningful. Maybe you're a leader trying to enhance your employees' experience at your organization. Or you already work for the community and seek volunteers with state-of-the-art skills to strengthen your nonprofit. Whatever your situation, know that you can make a difference. Chizuba began with this very vision. A vision to facilitate every skill and every passion in the world in meeting a social need. Corporate volunteering has several benefits for both businesses and organizations. In parallel, experienced and enthusiastic volunteers join NGO workers, enabling them to serve the community more effectively. Chizuba offers everyone looking to add purpose and meaning to their lives a chance to connect or volunteer virtually with non-profit organizations from over 100 countries around the world. Visit www.chizuba.net and explore opportunities to find meaning. Chizuba, your platform to do good. And now, back with our guest.
So, a large part of this would be for the individual, for the woman to have that willpower, to have that strength to go ahead and approach you and get involved in the programs that you are doing. So for you to offer that support, do you take the help from the community, or do you have your volunteers who kind of fulfill those needs?
So we've done a lot of what we've been able to, how we've been able to find folks have been through just putting out things there on the internet. We do have a Facebook page that has been really, really helpful. I my for-profit business allows me to do a lot of networking. So, as I network and I meet people, I'm able to, share what I'm doing and get,
Get the volunteers,
support from there. I've actually found fantastic and great help from Chizuba. Just utilizing the support you offer. I mean, amazing talent. Shout out to my good friend, Mr. Omar. He has been fantastic in, just giving great structure, great fundraising help and guidance.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is fantastic. So I hope to, I learned one thing I know is that, one can have a dream. You have something is placed within each and every one of us. We have our special calling, you
That's so true.
Yes, you have the thought of this idea of birthing this beautiful platform, and it's working, but it's serving a purpose. So
absolutely, that's such a beautiful thought.
Yeah, so I know I have that purpose, but I can't do it alone. So
Omolola, it's really nice to hear all this. Is there some incident or some one particular case that you remember vividly, and you think of this? Obviously, it is a rewarding process. It has its challenges, but is there one incident that you remember as being really, really worth the efforts that you are taking?
Yeah, I mean, 2019. Was that 2019? I think it was during the pandemic, actually, 2020, when we had the summit. And this is an online space. We held a one-day summit for about, let me say, almost 6 hours with different speakers.
Okay.
One of the speakers I had is a dear friend of mine who that was her second marriage that failed, and she had a daughter. She has a daughter, but she's also been one who has the heart to give. So within her career space, she's in the health sector. She's always giving, but having this personal challenges, but being able to overcome the fact of not blaming herself and coming to
this the victim.
Yes, and coming to this platform to share that experience. How she took off her hat, I felt was huge. For her.
Well, a big shout out to her.
Yeah, and then the women who participated were from different countries. And the feedback from each of these women after the summit was so heartwarming. One said, for the first time, I felt seen. For the first time, I felt heard. I felt that I was not alone. And, there's hope.
There is hope, and there is value.
Yes.
There is value to every individual, and you are bringing that value to everybody. That's such an amazing job that you are doing.
Thank you.
It is wonderful.
Thank you. So just it's my hope and my desire is to allow us women to feel free I get, sometimes I feel there's so many expectations.
Yes, always, everywhere. You have to do this, you have to do that. And, sometimes the women themselves set such high bars
Correct.
that it is just difficult to reach everything and do everything at one go. But yeah, somebody has to be there to wake them up and say that, well, you are a human being after all,
Yeah.
not superhuman.
Correct.
Wonderful.
Correct.
Great, Omolola. It was lovely talking to you. Would you like to share your social handles so people can go to your website and see how they can help?
Oh yeah, sure, please. We're always looking for support. Like I said, this is not a journey for one person. So, please reach out to us on ifaoh.org is the website for the Institute for the Advancement of Humanity. We're also on Facebook. Just search for IFAOH. You find us there. We're also on LinkedIn. And please, support us. Join our conversation. Read our blogs, follow our stories, and yes, let's make a change and make a difference. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, willpower is the unwavering determination that fuels actions and propels you forward, even in the face of challenges. Courage, on the other hand, is the audacity to confront your fears, embrace vulnerability, and take that leap of faith towards your dreams. And Omolola is doing that with her organization. You are not only showing these qualities, but you are also sharing them for others. Stay inspired, stay empowered, and always keep striving to unleash your full potential. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this incredible journey.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity and, the space to speak. I really appreciate it. Thank you.